I cry every time I speak. Or does everyone know that I cry before I speak? It's just ridiculous. Yeah. So if anyone has a Kleenex ready for me, that would be awesome. First of all, I want to thank everyone for their participation in coordinating this event. There are so many people that it takes to put this event on. And so I want to thank the handsome men at the check-in table. I want to thank Jen and Tony over at the cash table. I want to thank Melissa selling the magazines out there and the tools. I think she still has some magazines, so if you guys need magazines, you can get those on the way out as well. A special thanks to Carl. Carl is our sound guy. He makes all of this possible. Seriously. Without Carl, you know, a lot of you don't know this, but Carl is the first one here. Every time we show up, Carl is already here. So, he's awesome. I also want to give a big shout out to Vicki Pike. Where are you, Vicki? Woo! Vicki makes all of our awesome flyers. So if you've seen our flyers on Facebook that you use to promote this, Vicki is our talented, awesome graphic design artist that does amazing work. So if you need a little graphic design work, she's the girl. Little shout out to Vicki. Okay, so a couple of years ago, Dennis Windsor came to Kansas City. And we had about one section full to come and see him. And about halfway through the presentation, Mindy Anderson came over to me and leaned down and said, "Would it be okay if you took Dennis back to the airport?" I was like, yes, that would be great. And then I panicked. For those of you who don't know me, I am not a numbers person. I'm a people person. So I don't care about what my volume is and how many people, I just don't care about all that stuff. But I was sure that that's what he was going to ask me when we got in the car. So I pulled up my iPad. I freaked out because I didn't have Wi-Fi in here. I went up to the front desk. I begged for a Wi-Fi password. The gentleman gave me a Wi-Fi password, and I started writing down all my numbers. And then I proceeded to sit down and try to memorize them. So I had Mike and I live up north by the airport, and so we had about a 40-minute drive with Dennis, and I was all prepared. But the cool thing is that Dennis didn't ask me any of those questions. He asked me about our family. He asked us about our son. He asked us about our dreams and where we wanted this business to take us. He didn't ask us what we were doing to make the company more money. He didn't ask us how many people we were contacting every day. He didn't ask us any of those things. A couple of weeks later, when the company was small, we used to be able, on a corporate call, at the end, we used to have question and answer with Mark Smith. Who remembers that? Does anyone remember that? It was a long time ago. We can't do that anymore, obviously. But there was a time whenever we could say our name at the end of the corporate call, and Mark would say, "Yes, what's your question?" Well, that particular day, it was question and answer with Dennis, because Mark was off doing something else. So I said, I have no idea what my question was, but I said, "Hi, Dennis, this is Raelyn from Kansas City." And he said, "How's baseball season going?" So I just wanted to give you a little, if you've never had the opportunity to spend time with Dennis, I'm sure if you've listened to a corporate call, you can hear it in his voice, that he loves all of us. He's a people person. Who has a tissue? like to introduce the heart of Nerium International, Mr. Dennis Windsor.
Please. I have no idea who she just introduced. I'm Dennis. It's a thrill to be here with you today. And y'all ready for a crazy day? Who's here? We're going to stay till like 3 a.m. Is that okay? What the heck? And I am so glad I got the memo to take a bath and shower and everything. Thank you for reminding us of that. I really don't even know where I'm at. I've been in 30 plus cities in the last 90 days. And don't have any Nerium gear with me anymore. It's all worn out. So I'm here in my Baylor gear, so don't hold that against me. But I am thrilled to be here. Kansas City has been very close to, this section of the country has been close to my heart for a long time. I've been here many, many times. And this was one of the first cities that we ever had a regional event at. Because our company goes way back to 2011. Really, regionals, that's a long time ago. Back when we were all two, right? We had our first regionals like in the spring of 2012. And we only had like one here, one there, one here. Now they're all over the country. And now they're all over the U.S. and Canada and Mexico. And so this is a fantastic city. And whatever her name was that just introduced me. I'm just kidding. I love Raelyn. I had the privilege to come through here April of 2013. My daughter, as a volleyball player, was having a tournament. It was a Kansas City regional tournament. And it was a special time to come and kind of snuck in town, really. And then called Mindy and Raelyn at the last minute. But in a tournament, you don't know when those blocks of time that are open. Because you have, you play, ref, play, ref, play, sleep, play, whatever it is. But there was a block of about 3 hours. And I called her and I said, hey, why don't you come over to the hotel where I'm at, bring a few people. And how many people showed up? 70? 100? I don't know. It was like that. It was so cool. Who was there? Just curious. That's awesome. Glad you're here. I want to do some things a little bit different just because I don't get to come through very often. But, we're totally imperfect, normal people. So Nerium is so cool. So just look around this room right here. That's what we love about Nerium. People from all walks of life, all age groups, right? All demographics, all ethnicities. And we truly are building this cool family of what I would just call imperfect people that really want to do the things the best they can in life, really. And we'll get into some of that, but I'm kind of on some side missions as well. One of those has to do with this selfie craze. And I do a lot of these things these days in my life, and take this ride to take my kids off. Because kids, who's got teenagers? I mean, I love my kids. I got 4. I got a 24-year-old, 19-year-old, 17-year-old, 14-year-old. I'm really blessed with kids. But I'm here to remind them that we were cool first. Right? Because we all got these great kids, but when they hit about 12 or 13, they are the only ones that are cool, right? They have the selfies, and they also come up with all these weird words. Your kids got any weird words, any weird phrases? Like my daughter came up with this phrase called toe-off. Now this has nothing to do with hearing. I said, what the heck does toe-off mean? She goes, it means totally awkward. Okay, I did that. So I was with 2 of them in Boston, and Philadelphia, and Maine in the summer on a little 5-city trip. We were walking down the streets of Philadelphia, and I thought, this will be funny. So I took a selfie, and I posted it. And I said, this toe rocks. And they saw it, right, on their phones. It came up. And they looked at me and they go, Dad, that is so stupid. And I said, wait a second. Toe rock is really cool, and toe rocks is stupid. So I proceeded on that trip to take about 500 selfies with them. And my son Jack, for some reason, wouldn't take selfies anymore with me, Mike. I couldn't figure it out. But so he wouldn't do any pictures. Sometimes these kids say, okay, that's 500 thing up. So I figured out this cool trick. And we were walking down the streets, we were pretty similar time in Philadelphia, and they wouldn't take it anymore. So I walked about 8 feet in front of them. I grabbed my phone and I just, over my shoulder, I just went bam, 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 bam. And I got these things that I call Insta selfies. They couldn't block me. I know it's not funny here, but it is funny there. But I got all these cool pictures of Jack, especially my 14-year-old, dodging behind my daughter, trying to hide. It's those moments. But Nerium's family, it really is. We're going to talk a lot about business today. Anybody here want to make some money? Come on. We do have a passion to build the best company ever. I want to take you through a few slides before we get into the regional. And I do think the thing that motivates us all, no matter where we're from, what we're about, what's in front of us, really, is the dreams that we possess and dreams that may come, that we may want to have realized in the future. And the dreams drive us. I don't know about you, but you don't dream anymore. I mean, it's almost hard to live, almost, to a certain degree, because the dreams keep you going, right? And one thing about Nerium is this is not a company around dreams that are way out in the clouds. This is a real company. We're going to talk through this that really wants to help every one of you realize what your dreams are. We're not a company that tries to dictate who you are, what you're about, what your faith is, those kinds of things. And this hit me, how many of y'all were in St. Louis? Yeah. How about Long Beach? It's a whole different woo, you hear that? I mean, Long Beach was crazy. For those of you that were not in Long Beach. Okay, if you didn't go to Long Beach or St. Louis, raise your hand. Okay, every one of you has to come to San Jose. Is that right? San Jose is about 6 months from now, and there's no excuses, because if you start riding your bike and go that way, you'll be there. There are no excuses. I was in San Francisco a week before Long Beach, and I told that crowd the same thing for Long Beach. I said, all you have to do is go downhill. And you're there. Right? Some of these are like really stupid jokes, but thank you anyway. But if you got water, feel free to drink it. But you gotta, it's hard for you, it really is, I'll be really honest as much as I can be. It's hard for you, especially if this is maybe your first regional, to really get what Nerium's about from just one gathering. It's really so much bigger than this. It's really, you really get it when you get to these bigger gatherings of what Nerium's about. We had about almost a little bit less than 15,000 people in Long Beach. So if you're here for the first time, this is a crazy company that's a real company that is helping people all over the world. We just opened Canada in April, and we just opened Mexico here about 30 days ago. And so the basics before I get into the regional is I wanted to set the stage. One thing, this is part of the regional, but Nerium is so crazy real. It really is. In every aspect of people, product, science. We're going to get into some of that. What I love about where we sit as a business is I've been thinking a lot about this lately, that our timing, because you hear about timing, right? A lot in business. You hear about what real estate is all about, what? Location, location, location. Business is all about timing. You got to have good timing. You don't want to be in the wrong business at the wrong time, and so forth. It's almost like our timing, which is so spectacular, because we're in this world of anti-aging. It's almost like our timing as a business, and I really want you to get this, it's almost like it's frozen, because it really is here in perpetuity. It's here forever. Every one of you today woke up before you left the house, most likely, one of the last things you did was look in the mirror. And you looked at, what you look like, how's your hair, and I don't worry about that kind of stuff anymore. But you did. Your appearance is important, your beauty is important, your skin is important. It's a fact that is a global thing all around the world. The timing that we have. Does anybody else here feel like you're having a hot flash right now? Are you having your own personal summer? That's what my wife said. I remember last December, we were driving down the road. Remember the ice storm that hit Dallas? Remember that in December? It was just a couple days after that. The ice had kind of cleared, and we were driving down I-75, and about 60, 40, 50 miles an hour, whatever it is. And my son Jack's in the front seat, I was in the back, and it's like 10 degrees outside. It's freezing, and now you got wind chill outside. All of a sudden, she drives the Lexus, and all of a sudden, she used those 4 fingers. All 4 windows went down simultaneously. And Jack's going, "What the heck? It's hot in here." Anyway, did anybody realize? I'll be at home, and next thing you know, the old clothes come off. But get away from me! Anyway, that has nothing to do with your either. But seriously, our timing, just think about this. It really is forever. It really is. It's not a joke. We don't have fad products that at least are cool. You got to hurry up and tell your friends about it because it's gone. I was in my attic not too long ago, and I had these 2 huge green bins up there. You ever go up to your attic and you had to open some things for a while? I thought, what the heck what's in there? I opened them up. And you know what's in there? They were packed full, big. They're like this big, those big green ones. They were packed full with Beanie Babies. Remember Beanie Babies? Oh, yeah. So I remember the day, because I got 4 kids, I remember the day driving my kids to school, and Franklin Florist on Highway 380, there'd be a sign on the door. Beanie Babies here, right? We got them. And I remember you'd see that the kid would go, Beanie Babies! And you'd go, you'd pull in real quick, and Dad would jump out of the car and come back out of the store and say, got one! And then where are they now? I mean, they gave them away. Nerium is the type of company, the space that we're in, and even just as important or more important, on the people side, the people development side, this is here forever. People will want to become better people. People will want to enhance their lives. People will want to spend time with their friends. People will want to contribute to society. People will want to make a living. All those kinds of things forever. It's here forever and ever and ever. And you think about that. There's just in Metro KC, I think it's 2.5 million people. I was just looking up some of those demographics. And so I was talking to Raelyn and Indy and Mike last night. Just call it a day's drive, just make it simple. There's easily probably 4+ million or more right in this area. When you think about that, about 10%, and that's just about 14.5% is what the wiki stats said, are Hispanic. And then all other ethnicities combined there. About 2.5% Asian. Right here in Kansas City, right in the middle of the country. When you think about this company, we're building a company that you're going to get to see the world with. Anybody want to travel? Trust me, when you travel, you want to know what city you're in. It always helps. I love you. What's your name? Melissa, I love your laugh. No, I love it. Keep it up. I love you. I love your energy. It's cool. I'm going to really try some all my stupid jokes, I know you're just going to laugh at every one of them. You keep laughing, bro. But seriously, Jeff Olson's in Mexico City right now, today. I'm in Kansas City. Y'all, the Creeks are in, where are they, Memphis? I think, but we're building this really cool company. This slide takes me back. We founded this company from a yellow pad. There was nothing. There was no names, not any branding. You go on Nerium right now and you see this empire of everything. There's a small room in Dallas, we called it a war room. And it was a room full of blank white easel pads and whiteboards. There's nothing on the wall, right put together. And on the outside of that room, there was a door that led into it. And personally wrote one of those big sticky notes, you can peel them off and put them on the wall. And on that note, it said this. It was a mission statement. It was not our official mission statement, but it was kind of the development mission statement. And you've heard Jeff say it a lot, that our mission was to build the best company ever and then travel the world with our friends. And you think about this, this is an industry that is specifically what that's about. That this room right here is full of people that just a few friends told their friends, and that's really what happened. And before you know it, we'll be around the world. And before you know it, when your groups grow to these different places, you'll go to these different places. But you'll go to these places not to conduct business, you'll go there to be with your friends. This is the thing I want to connect the dots with you with. I had a little challenge last year, June 9th of 2013, and I woke up on my 54th birthday, and I took 3 steps and I fell over flat with what they call a hemorrhagic stroke. Anybody here in the medical community at all? So I had a really serious hemorrhagic stroke. I almost died. And I'm sitting here today as an absolute crazy miracle. Grateful those who had experience. And I say that because we have a chance really to overcome almost any challenge that faces us. We really do. And I'm been traveled enough to realize that the room this size, that there's people sitting here right here in this room today that barely made it here. Relationally, financially, mentally, emotionally. There's challenges going on in your life right now, health challenges. We just had one of our brand partners in Long Beach. We don't announce all this, but it was right prior to Long Beach. In their hotel room, this gentleman fell over and had a major stroke. Broke his neck. And he's recovering well. It's a really cool story already what's happening. The things are coming back to him. And he's fighting. He's got extreme alertness and everything. But when these challenges hit you, you have to make some decisions. You have to, if you're going to fight through it. You know, life for sure takes a lot of effort. I remember when I was sitting in that stupid hospital bed, and these really great nurses were taking care of me. My brain was starting to think negative thoughts just like that. And I don't know about you, but to a large degree, every person in this room, even the people who have been with us, even me, we're fighting those stupid thoughts all the time. I don't know what it is, but this brain wants to send horrible thoughts to this brain all the time. I look horrible, I feel bad, what's going to happen, where am I going, what about this situation? And you got to fight them, right? You got to fight them, you got to fight them, you got to fight them. And it's a battle that's in the mind. And this is my biggest takeaway from my life lesson, is that this battle is in the mind. As an outside nugget, so to speak, from this today, I just want to encourage you that you can overcome really anything that you're facing. And I know many of you are brand new to our business. And what I'm here to tell you is that we have a company that really is full of hope. And we can help you. And it may take longer than you want. But this journey that you can join us with, you can build this company with us. And you can end up traveling the world with your friends. Even if it takes you 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, you can do that. I mean, what else are you going to do? You're going to buy a Honda lawnmower and go out and mow? What else are you going to do in life? The thing I think that motivates me the most right now, beyond all the business and all that kind of stuff, Raelyn had kind of said I'm a comp plan freak. I am. I love this engine. We're going to get into that. We'll probably get into that maybe around 1 a.m. today. Andy, I don't know why they're laughing. But it's all about expectations, right? What I think is really cool right now is the realization that what is happening with this company, that we are building this group of people that I'm calling, see if it clicks, a global borderless family. This is what I'm kind of really theming around right now. Because you think about this, every country in the world has borders. You have to have borders. The reality of that is Latin America, North America, Asia, Europe, Doesn't matter. There's borders everywhere, right? And rightfully so. And countries struggle with borders. They do. We struggle with borders. And it's an issue with us for our country. It has been forever. And like for example, down south, there's a border, right? There's a struggle with that. There always has been. Right south of their border, there's a struggle. People trying to get in their country. It keeps going down. But you know what's cool with Nerium? We've been waiting for 3+ years to go to this beautiful land of Mexico, where these incredible people are. I call them people groups. And I call the Mexican people just an amazing, passionate, loving people group that have huge families. You know, it's like when you invite someone to dinner here, maybe 3 people show up. You invite someone to dinner there, 75 people show up. And any bilingual people in the room? Okay? I mean, you know what I'm talking about. If you say you're having, jalapenos, man, the whole neighborhood comes. And as a side note, I'm a jalapeno freak. And I don't know what it is, but I can eat anything. I can eat bowls of habaneros and ghost peppers. And it's sick. Another one of my kids' words that I think I'm going to use. Yeah, sick. I remember my last trip to Mexico City, Mark Smith, myself, and then our president international, Roy Truitt, were down there. We did the whole opening in Mexico. And about 11:30 at night, when everybody had left, we said, well, let's go eat. And so they opened up a nice restaurant, a Mexican restaurant right there, the Intercontinental. So let's go there. And so Mark said, well, hey, got any really hot sauce? This guy kind of likes really hot sauce. So they brought some stuff. And he said, yeah, this is really hot. Be careful. And I looked at him. We kind of befriended him. And I said, if you don't mind, this stuff is really wimpy. He said, I want some triple Mexican. Give me something really hot. And he brings me this bowl of crushed, brand new habanero peppers. And Roy goes to Mark, you try it and I'll try it. And so Mark tries it, and that's pretty hot. And then Roy tries it. And Roy, Roy is our international, he's a really cool guy, but he is a total wimp. He took one little bite, and I mean, he choked up. It took him like 10 minutes. And he's choking and gagging. I thought, but now you 2 bowls of this stuff. This has nothing to do with Nerium. Excuse me. I honestly do. I'm from Texas, and I have been around Mexican people for a long time, very close to them in a lot of cases. And I love this people group. I love all people, but I love this people group maybe in particular. I love their passion. I love their passion, the way they love, the way they accept. I love their just gracious attitudes as a people group. It's interesting. Forget all the other junk that goes along with all these different cultures. We have, some people say, gosh, you're going to be safe when you go down there. I said, man, I'm barely safe going to Chicago or LA or Dallas. It's very true. It's a dangerous world no matter where we are. It is. There's no difference down there. But we are so excited as a company to go to Mexico because this is a phenomenal group of people that now you get to embrace. This is what's cool, is as a business. Just look around this room right here, right now. I mean, just look around for a second. I guarantee you there's easily 20 plus ethnicities right here in this room right now. Easily. This company is not a bunch of cowboys from Dallas. It's not. It's not. This is what the world's about now. We have a chance as a company, in spite of the things that can cause some differences, because there are some things that can cause some differences, politics, faith, whatever, some of these things can, and they do. But we have a chance as a company to connect the dots, really. This is what we call a business, but really we're connecting dots of relationship. You're right now, on Saturday, planning right now what you're going to do tonight or tomorrow. And when you plan these things, you're planning on spending time with people you care about, people that you love, people that you want to spend time with, right? It's not like you're calling your boss up and saying, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? And I'd like to hang out with you. I mean, you're not. Probably, you're calling your mom, your sister, your best friend. You might go hang with them. Nerium has this chance. And it's not just a chance. We're doing it right now. To connect the dots of all these people, really all around the world, to a common cause. And our real mission statement is true. It's to make people better. It's not a marketing ploy. The core values that you see, all these kinds of things, you have talk from stage, and all these things about making people better, the Nerium Ripple, contributing, big brothers, big sisters. These are not. These are just collectively together, along with the business, building the best business ever. We're building this group of people that's a borderless group of people that you, now picture this, I want you to picture this. Top 5 companies in our industry, right? The 5th one is at $3 billion a year. The number 1 one is $12 billion a year. The 5th one is this tiny little pink company out of Dallas. You might have heard of it. I drive by every day. And I go, oh yeah! Come on, come on, come on! I really don't. I have a phenomenal respect for that company. I mean, Mary Kay Ash was an amazing lady that transformed a lot of lives, really. Great company. It's just a different kind of company. It's different than us. But that's the 5th company on the list. The average age of the top 5 is 79.6 years. Okay? That's how old they are. That's how long they've been around. That's how long they've been in business. That's how long they've been sharing revenue with their representatives. Someone joined their companies 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago. And their families are still involved. So, the industry, first company ever really that started in this industry, started in 1886. If I take you back just for a minute, you remember the days when the gentleman was on the horse and the buggy, and he had a paneled wagon. He used to go through the fields of rural America. Remember that? Remember what his name was? Remember his name? Mr. Haney. Okay. Remember the show? Green Acres, right. Well, there was companies that tried to manufacture products, deliver them to consumers. How would they get them out there? Well, they did it through representatives, right? That's how they did it. This has nothing to do either. But, I'm going to tell you, I told a similar story in Lynchburg, Virginia, with Aaron Kidd, January 5th, 2013. And there was a crowd like this, 500 people. And I was telling that story about Green Acres, and 2/3 of the crowd, and this is only Virginia. When I said Mr. Haney and Green Acres, 2/3 of the crowd simultaneously, Green Acres, only Virginia. It's really funny, it's true. But this company in 1886 said this gentleman wanted to manufacture perfumes and wanted to take those perfumes to consumers. So he brought on reps, and he let the reps bring on other reps in their neighborhoods and spread it similar. They didn't have internet, they didn't have smartphones, they didn't have any of that kind of stuff. You know that company today as Avon, 125 years later. So my point to you is this right here. I'm so sorry. My point to you is this right here. This is 2014. I want you, just for the sake of it, to picture forward with me to spring of 2091. March of 2091. And if Nerium would be in a similar place where these other companies are in the top 5, that's where we'll be. 76 plus years old, 3 billion, 5 billion, 10 billion, 20 billion a year. And you, groups like you, will have gotten involved, built a business, and built a legacy business that maybe you pass on to your kids. And those kids got involved, and then they got on. That's exactly how the legacy. I got a friend of mine that has been with Mary Kay since 1964. I know her really well. 51 years. So just imagine, we're 3 years old. Anybody in the room that says, hey, this is my first event, wow, there's so many people. I mean, we're all toddlers at best, right? There's so much mega future for all of us. And what I want and trying to convey to you more than anything that I think motivates us all, at the end of the day, when we go 3 years from now, we're in 12 countries. 5 years from now, we're in 15, 20 countries. 10 years from now, we're in 30 or 40 or 50. At the end of the day, we're building this massive, global, borderless family of people that you will enjoy being with, that you'll love to be around, that you had a chance to impact their lives. In reverse, they did the same. This is a business model that the only way you succeed is if others succeed. That's the business model. That's how it works. If you're going to succeed, it's going to work this way. That's what we're going to go through. And I know I was only supposed to be up here for 15 minutes, but sorry. I'm going to go this. I'm going to go fast through the other stuff, so I'll catch up. Today, I want to instill in you that everything that we're going to talk about today, for sure, it's going to go back to your belief. If we can embed in you, especially if you're brand new, if you've been in Nerium for a week, if you've been in Nerium for 3 months or 2 years, if you can really, this is what I would say, is if you can trust us. I really think it does come down to that. Because companies are not made of warehouses and websites and products and shipping. They're not. Companies are made of people. They always have been, they always will be. And I'm just trying to convey to you that if you trust us as people, this is an amazing group of people. There's 300 plus people now on staff in there. Really smart people, much smarter. There's some people, when they start talking, you know they're smart. That's not me. Thank you for not laughing. Yeah, no, oh, I like that. Bam! Okay, but you gotta believe, you have to. And you gotta believe in yourself. You really do. That's the biggest thing I'd probably leave you with today is believe in yourself. Don't let anybody else steal any parts of your dreams. And then the last part, then I'm going to walk through this with you. Let's go make it happen. You guys want to go on a run in your lifetime? Let's go to the other slide. And we're going to go into that later. What? Switch over to the main slides. So you can get rid of that. But I just want to kind of share some of those thoughts with you before we get into the main guts of our regional. One thing we've tried to do as a business model is we've really been really serious about the mechanics, the fundamentals, the basics of really how you build this business. And what's been good for Nerium is anybody can do it. The key is they can. Not that they will, but that they can. It doesn't matter if you're 18, just graduated from high school, or if you're, I was just in Las Vegas. There was a lady there, 71 years old, just got her car. I got her on video. Just got her car that week, 71.